First thing you got to do is decide, as a business owner, do I want to make more money? See, if this dude with the camera, if his pockets are empty, he's walking around empty pockets, and he's got his fancy camera. This is the problem with the artist. They starve their whole life. They starve their entire life, and then you wonder why they're grumpy. There's no money. I'm eating at Little's all the time. Sooner or later, you hit the reality. He hits the reality. I got a nice camera. I love taking photos. I got to shoot Grant Cardone. He watches Lord Sugar leave on his jet and says, hey, why does he get to fly free everywhere, do whatever he wants, and I'm stuck with my camera and no money? How many believe that? Sooner or later, after days of going to work, months of going to work, years of going to work, sooner or later, if he works for this man, he's like, I resent this man. I resent this man. I resent that man, business owner. I resent Paul McFadden, the business owner. I resent you, so I know I won't work for you. In fact, what I'm going to do is screw things up for you. It's called disengagement. The only business people that will survive, the only entrepreneurs that will make it in business are those people that decide to grow their businesses. Little will fail. Not the little grocery store. Okay? If you try to stay small, you will fail. Okay? I'm telling you this from personal experience. I tried to stay small. I tried to manage the business. I tried to be the king of the business. I tried to have no employees because employees cost money. I'm like, I'm not going to have any employees. I'm not going to pay the cameraman. I'll just hire him when I do a gig. And the next time I'll hire another guy. And that'll keep my expenses low. How many are brought up like this? Keep the expenses real low where we can manage the expenses. The expenses are going to be so small that no matter how much we make, I keep it all.
You are staying small because you're afraid. You're afraid of the worst case scenario coming true, losing, having no money, and being embarrassed. But you know you're capable of more. You know the way that you're going about doing things right now is nothing compared to what you're capable of. Unless you lose that scarcity mindset, you're always going to stay small, knowing that you are capable of more. Today I'm going to show you how. So one of the easiest ways to get out of your scarcity mindset is to go from idea to action. As soon as you get an idea, you do something about it. And sometimes often that idea is going to be too big, too scary, too crazy. You can't do it. Who are you to do this? You don't have the money, resources, time, connections, energy, right? All of that, all of the excuses that come into your head. I like to teach myself that as soon as I get an idea, I go do something. It may not work, but you have genius ideas, trust them, go do something. So this is great. This is a Grant video because when I did my tour in 2019, that's January to April, we hit 23 different cities over 90 days. And at the beginning, I was trying to find different sponsors that would help out with travel, accommodations, because it was me, Nina, my film guy, Danny, and all of our gear. It was mostly Danny's gear. Lighting, and we had speakers and camera gear and all of this stuff. And we ended up renting a Suburban and driving across America. But before doing that, I emailed Grant and I said, hey Grant, can I use your plane for 90 days for my tour? And to his credit, the email that he wrote back was, what's the upside? Not, no, not forget about it, not, do you know how much it costs, and just jet fuel and you know, my pilot, and then I can't use my plane for 3 months. He said, what's the upside? I said, well, listen, I'm gonna let everybody in my audience know about you. And listen, we didn't get a deal, we didn't make it happen. But it's that idea of going from idea to action, right? And I still do a lot with Grant, right? Making this video, helping promote all the stuff that he's up to. We're looking at doing something together when I go to Miami next. And so that one exchange didn't ruin the relationship. And I'm happy to share it publicly. Maybe that's embarrassing for some people, right? But the idea of trusting your ideas. You get an idea, you go do something. It may be too big, it may be scary. You might have people say no. even if the most likely answer is no, right? The most likely answer might be no. The most likely answer to me asking Grant that question is no, right? It's a no. But if I don't ask, it's a no 100%. Don't take the no away from somebody else. It might be 99.999% no, but there's still a little chance. Maybe there's a yes somewhere in there. Trust your ideas. Do something. I did and still continue to do. And that's how you escape scarcity mindset. That's how you escape playing small and actually go down and chase the life that you want to live. So let's get more specific. I'm going to give you a 3-step process that I think will help. Step number 1 is idea to action. So as soon as you get that idea, you don't judge it. You don't think about it. You don't say, why me? You just go and you do something. Find the smallest possible way to just get started, right? So you just trust that the idea came to you. I believe that ideas flow through you. You got that idea for a reason. Why are you thinking about it? Don't worry about why you're thinking about it. Just go do something about it. Find the smallest possible way to just go do something about it. You are a genius, therefore you come up with genius ideas. Not all of them work out. Maybe the timing was wrong, maybe the execution was wrong, but it's still a great idea because you came up with it. Therefore, it is a great idea and you have to go do something about it. So trust your ideas and go from idea to action. Step number 2 is what I call the 2% difference. Here's what happens. Most of the time when people come up with an idea, you default into planning mode. Planning, strategy, thinking, researching, and then you wake up the next day and you're back to square one. You're back to normal. Like the energy that you got, the boldness, the courage that you had is gone because you woke up the next day. So you've wasted your best time, your best momentum, that peak in energy on planning. Where what I want you to do is use that for action. So the 2% difference is instead of planning to get to 100%, which is what most of us will do, you come up with an idea and then plan how it's gonna happen 100% to finish line. You don't even know what the finish line is gonna be. Stop thinking you even know where it's gonna be. Instead of worrying about the 100%, focus on the first 2%. The first 2%. I have this idea. What can I do right now that will get me 2% of the way, right? You wanna make a YouTube video? Great, pull out your phone, start recording. That's 2%. You wanna remind yourself to breathe. This is one thing we have on our door. Every time I leave the door, every time I leave my condo, there's a sign that says breathe, right? Because I wanna remind myself to breathe. Practice my Wim Hof. Take 30 breaths in and out as I walk outside my condo every time. I put that there as a play bigger trigger for myself. But it's easy to think, well, if I'm gonna put a sign on my door, then I need it to be a certain size and I need to be the perfect picture and I need it to be framed, and you make it bigger and then you don't do anything. That's the biggest problem, you just don't have momentum. You're not doing enough. And so step number 1, the 2% difference is I took out a sticky note and I just wrote breathe and I stuck it on my door. And it's a reminder every day to breathe. It doesn't mean that you can't go back and plan. It doesn't mean that you can't replace it with something nicer, bigger, better. Yes, of course, planning has its role, but not as a first step. Your first step is action. If your first step is planning, you're losing. If your first step is planning, that's why you're a perfectionist. That's why you don't have momentum happening against your ideas. Your first step, idea into the first 2%. And then step number 3 is tie your self-worth to the effort, not the result. This is where, again, so many entrepreneurs will fail, is because you tied your self-worth to the outcome of you accomplishing that thing. If you woke up and you only did things that you knew you were gonna win at, you're gonna play small for life. You're only doing things inside your comfort zone because you know you're gonna win at them, right? Or a very high degree chance you're gonna win. If that's all you ever take on, you play small for life. But if you're going outside your comfort zone, taking on new projects, growing as a human, learning, getting better, taking on new challenges that are bigger and beyond you, most days you're actually gonna wake up and fail because you're doing something new. But if you woke up every day and were proud of the effort you were putting in, you're proud of yourself for the effort, you're putting in your max effort, you're trying to make the best video you can, you're trying to make the best product or service you can, you're proud of yourself for the effort every single day, you're gonna create amazing things. Way beyond what you thought you're capable of, and way more than the person who just sits inside their bubble doing things that they know they're gonna win at. Tie your self-worth to the effort, not the results. Now I have a really special bonus clip that I think you're gonna enjoy, but before that, question of the day, I wanna know, what is the 2% difference that you need to take today on one of your ideas? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you made it this far in the video, I wanna celebrate you. Give me a hashtag believe down in the comments as well.
Jeff is worth about $150 billion, the founder of Amazon. This is what he looked like almost 20 years ago. 20 years ago, they laughed at him. 20 years ago, he wasn't worth $20,000, let alone $150 billion. Now he's got a company, roughly speaking, around $1 trillion. A little less, maybe $150 billion less because of the sell-off in the market, etc. But they laughed at him. He had an idea. He had a dream. Like him, I had a dream about 35 years ago. I am the first person on the planet that took an option for something he did not own, public, on a major stock exchange. I'm going to say, okay, I don't own that book, right? I paid him $1. I want an option. I'll give you $5 for that book a year from now. I took an option. I took that book, not owning it, and I sold it on the New York Stock Exchange for $150 million. That's what I did. And that was the beginning of my quantum leap.
If you want to see the one-on-one I did recently with Grant, check it out right there next to me. I think you'll love it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
True wealth cannot be created working. It can only be created investing. Elon Musk is completely invested. He has no cash and no houses.